Hello, and welcome to It's Fate, a fantasy novel recap podcast where two friends dive into your favorite fantasy reads. I'm Morgan.
And I'm Katie. And today we are covering The Dragon Republic, the second half. So chapter 21 to the end.
Yes, and your hair. I love this. You need to do this all the time.
I wear it like this to the gym a lot because it takes my bangs out of my face.
But I feel like work would be fine.
I want to start wearing space buns all the time.
Yeah, do it. It looks so good on you. We are wearing green for the Vipress and the Empire.
Sudaji.
Yes, and her, I feel like snakes. The green, yeah. And we have some cute little culture pops again. I feel like we had these recently.
Yeah, lemon lime.
Yeah, I haven't had this one before.
Let's see. Cheers.
Cheers.
To the Empress. Just kidding.
Well, there's more to go, so who knows?
Who knows? I like it. It's like a not as sweet, like Sprite.
7 Up, yeah.
What happened to Sprite?
I think it's now Starry.
Okay, they like
Starry
sold out.
something? I think so.
I've seen Starry, but
No, Sprite's still around. It's 7 Up. That's gone.
okay. One of them is gone.
Sierra Mist? I don't know.
Serum. I haven't yet. Maybe it's Sierra Mist. That's not.
One of them disappeared.
I don't know which one.
Me neither. Before we get into it, should we do a little reading update?
Yeah.
Are you reading anything new?
I'm reading the second book of the Fireborn. It's not, the series isn't called Fireborn. It's called something else.
Right.
But that's the first book. And this book is called Flamefall, I think.
Ooh.
I just started reading it a little. I know I gave really high marks.
I
which
know.
I still really like it. But there is like a little bit of miscommunication trope in it.
Ugh.
But it's more like it resolves quickly. Like,
Okay,
you know,
good.
it's just like things happen and the characters like hadn't talked yet. But then like once they do, it doesn't drag on.
When it's the whole book,
Oh, I can't.
I just want to chuck it.
I don't mind it if it's like a little bit. Because I mean, that happens in real relationships all the time.
Exactly.
But that's what I'm reading right now.
That. I put Fireborn on hold at the library in an audiobook, so I'm waiting for it to be ready for me.
I'm listening to it. I read it last time on an ebook, but I'm listening to it this time, and I like it because it has different actors and they have
Love
accents.
that. Love accents.
It's like British and like Scottish accents.
Love that. Oh my goodness.
What are you reading?
Well, I finally ditched the audiobook of Legendborn. I tried.
The one that was not good.
No. So now I'm listening to The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I like.
I've heard of it. I've seen it.
It's been on my TBR for a long time, and I definitely prefer a physical book for a lot of different types of books, but I've kind of had to let that go because I just don't, if I want to read it, I don't have the time to read everything in a physical copy.
Yeah.
So I'm
That's
listening to
how I
it.
feel too.
Yeah, and the audiobook narrator, her name is Julia Wellen, I think is how you pronounce it, and she does who wrote Daisy Jones and the Six? Why can't I remember?
I'm so bad at remembering.
And like The
authors'
Seven
names.
Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, that author, Taylor Jenkins Reid. She does all of her books. She does all of Emily Henry's books.
Okay.
She does, there's a couple other.
She's popular.
She's very popular, and she does such a good job, and she does accents, and I haven't heard her do any male voices yet, but I like her narration so far, and the book is really interesting. So it's fantasy with some romance.
Is it fantasy? I imagine it like, I don't know if this is true, but I kind of imagine it like the life of Adeline. What's that one? Adeline.
Oh, yes,
What's the
yes,
movie?
with Blake Lively.
Is it kind of like that?
Not really. I mean, she's immortal.
Okay.
But her whole thing, it's called The Invisible Life because once, like if you and I were talking right now and then I left the room, you would completely forget that I existed in your life.
Oh, that's awful.
So nobody ever remembers her.
That's really sad.
I know. And it's been 300 years.
I would want to.
You can't die. She's tried everything. I know.
That's really
I
sad.
know.
I'd be like, you can never leave me, actually.
Yeah. So she like knows she's in like a relationship with somebody, but he meets her every night for the first time. But she like knows things.
Stranger.
Yeah, but she like knows everything about him, and has like put her favorite tea in his apartment and has been helping him write a song, even though he doesn't know that.
It's like 50 dates, 50 first dates.
Yes. Yeah.
But in like the opposite.
Right. But like completely forgets. Doesn't forget that they had a date, but like forgets that they even existed. And she can't say her real name.
Why?
It's a part of the curse.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's interesting. And then I haven't started yet, but I got Daisy Hates from the library, which is the second Magnolia Parks. It's like 2 characters, and they each have they're from the same world, from what I understand, but they like have different storylines. Oh, we both went to fix our hair at the same time and knocked elbows.
Okay.
So yeah,
Well, that's fun.
yeah,
Little break from
some fun
all
stuff.
this war going on.
Yeah. So let's dive into it.
Let's dive in. So
We left off with the big battle.
The big battle.
Mm-hmm.
Phelan destroyed everything.
Yes.
And then chapter 21, they meet the Hinterlanders, which we find out they don't prefer to be called that.
No, it's the Ketriids.
Okay,
Ketriids.
I'm glad that you knew how to say
I
it.
tried to remember, and I wish I would have written it down, but I'm almost positive that's what it was.
Okay. That sounds right to me. They get like captured by them. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking
so it's
for.
Katai and Rin have been separated from the entire army, and then they wash up on the shore, and oh, look at that, Chagan and Kara are there
doing who knows what, spying,
and then the Ketriids / Hinterlanders come,
and a part of it is the main lady. Her name, their leader, is the Sorkin
Sarah. That's how I said it.
Okay. And she shows Rin basically how similar she is to the trifecta. Mm-hmm. And Zhang, her old master.
Yeah.
And seeing Zhang be so arrogant.
I know.
And ungrateful and just like wanting more power. Mm-hmm. It just really, I think, maybe showed me why Zhang was so frustrated with Rin at the end. Even if he couldn't remember that version of himself.
Yeah.
He did things that were much like Rin.
Yeah, and he seems to have a lot of regrets and understands what can happen to you when you have this kind of power.
And you let it consume you.
Yes, and fester, absolutely. And so this new group of characters, we find out that they are related to Kara and Chagan, and that Chagan and Kara were actually sent to like spy on the Sika and decide if they ever became too powerful, then the Ketriids would them.
I know we got a lot of backstory on why Kara and Chagan were basically on this like assignment, and I'm gonna be honest.
No,
I just read it. My reading comprehension at this point, I just kind of was like, okay, something happened with their mom, and their mom in punishment.
Yeah,
it's because like she helped the trifecta, and in punishment, now Kara and Chagan have to do this.
I actually felt like it was confusing.
Yeah, okay.
And then again at the end of the book, when the Viperess is like trying to show Rin stuff, I'm like, I still don't get it. Like, I still don't understand why everybody did what they did. It still makes no sense to me.
Maybe in the third book we'll find out more, but
maybe.
I just, it was so much information that I was like, I'm not gonna like.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah, but they help Rin.
Yeah, they want to break the seal
in order for her to kill the Empress.
Yes, I felt like I really liked this scene when Rin finally confronts the Alton of her mind. Mm-hmm. I feel like the book took way too long to get here, but this confrontation with Alton was really, really well written. And I felt like it was this whole seal and Rin battling Alton in her mind was a really good depiction of mental health as a whole and how we all have some form of Alton in us. And sometimes it is based off of somebody in real life that has done us wrong. Sometimes it is ourselves, like preventing something or somebody that mentally prevents us from being like our truest selves. So I felt like it was a really
Everyone should go to therapy.
And break that seal.
Break the seal.
On your mind.
Fix your generational and childhood trauma. Okay.
Yeah. That is our weekly advertisement for therapy.
I was so proud of Rin for finally
Me too.
being able to face this Alton and realize that he was just made up in her brain. And that in order to move on with her life and move on with really be able to like win this war and face Daji, is that she needs to get rid of Alton, this crazy Alton in her brain.
What did you think about the fact that now she has a charred handprint, like his handprint scarred on her chest? That was weird to me.
Yeah, and I wonder what kind of like magic that is.
Yeah, it's like he still left his mark somehow, but he wasn't.
It was like
real.
The mark on herself almost. It was her own, like a representation of like her own doing. I guess.
That's kind of how it felt. It was interesting
because it wasn't him, but then it was him in her brain.
Yeah, but the seal doesn't work.
No.
And so her and Katai bond. And we find out the trifecta was bonded, all three of them. And apparently that is very dangerous and it's just not very stable. But that means the Dragon Emperor is still alive because one cannot die without all of them dying unless they
were there when he died.
And that he released. They have to all be like released from it and they all have to agree on it. So I think he's alive.
I think he's alive, just like in a sleep. And we see that Jang broke the seal and remembered and was able to access his powers. And he was the one that was in the sleep, right? In the stupor.
Yeah, because their little, what is that called?
Prophecy.
Thank you. My brain is just slow today. Was one will die, one will rule, and one will sleep for eternity or something like that. So yeah.
I was so proud and like loved Katai when he was like, yeah, I'll be your anchor. And she was like, no, you don't understand. It's like painful. It's like, I don't want that. And he's like, Rin, I love you. And I also want to win this war. And this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah. Like this is beyond us.
Yeah. I love him. I love Katai.
I know. And I love they have like a sibling relationship, which is really sweet. But then another weird moment happens. It's not that weird, but like all of a sudden the Sorkinsira's son plans a coup and uses some of the Hesperians who were stranded, but they were not soldiers. What did they call them? The gray something?
Oh,
the gray.
I didn't write this.
All I can think of is gray matter.
No.
In our brains.
That's not it. But
the
it's
Gray Company? The Gray Company. August being one of them. Like, manipulate them into basically killing the Sorkinsara. And Kara dies. And then
releases Chagan
from the bond. And then the son who planned the coup was like, we're blaming this on you. And just leaves. And I'm like, huh?
They're coming back.
They're coming back. And I hope they come back on the right side of things. And
I
help.
don't think they will.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Just a funny little moment. So in order for them to be able to be sealed, they had to get high.
Yeah.
And they ate some mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
And Rin was like, yeah, give me the mushrooms. And Katai was like, ugh, I don't know. And Chagan was like, okay, well, it's either eat the mushrooms or drink this horse piss that has the mushrooms in it. And he drank it, and Chagan was like, JK, you actually still have to eat it.
I just wanted to see if you would drink horse urine.
And I'm like, in this scenario, I would eat the mushrooms. I would never choose the horse piss.
Absolutely not.
I don't know why Katai was like, okay, just chugging it.
He's like, whatever, I have lived 50 lives in the past 300 pages of this war. Just give me the horse piss.
And he still had to eat the mushrooms.
And he still had to eat the mushrooms. He couldn't even wash it down with the urine.
Ew.
Drink the urine first.
When the Sorens, what's her name? Sorkinsira was talking about how the trifecta were all sealed. I thought, I wonder if Rin, Katai, and Neja would ever be all three.
Oh, bonded, you mean?
Bonded.
Yeah.
Not sealed.
I know.
Bonded together.
I wonder if you can add, I wonder if it has to be done all at once or if you can like
add it
add.
later.
Just add. Just
Keep adding.
yeah, just keep going.
You'll never die. You'll be connected to, or you will die.
Actually, you probably have a greater chance of dying
True.
if there's so many. Can you
True.
imagine? Oh my gosh.
You're gonna be powerful for like 5 seconds before you get.
Oh my gosh. Rin has this moment where she talks about being afraid of overpowering Katai. Do you think that's a risk for them?
No, I think Katai is very strong, and he is one of the ones to really call Rin out, and she respects him and his opinion. I could understand her perspective, especially because I think Rin does view the shamans as like, we are all powerful and we're so great.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but Katai is like a genius. So I think he matches her.
And
in
I like Katai more.
me too.
Sorry, Rin.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. He just, his decision making to me is much more sound.
Yeah.
And so he's just easier to like.
He's not sharing his brain with a god.
Exactly.
So.
And he's just different. He's different than her. Yeah.
But very similar.
They make it down the river for after 29 days. Here's the
Aren't you
thing.
glad that they didn't give us a 29-day, like...
Thank God. Oh
Day
my
to day.
gosh. But here's something I do appreciate about the book. It's part of the reason why it wasn't a page turner, but something that I can still appreciate is how realistic the stuff is. Because when you read like a romantasy or anything and there's war involved, which is, exciting and whatever, nobody talks about the fact that they're disgusting. Hello, Farrah and Reese do it covered in blood and gore.
Well, they do talk about it. They just don't care.
Disgusting. Whereas when Rin and Katai get back, everyone's like, ew, please go take a shower. And Rin's like, I shaved my lice-ridden hair and I've been drinking like unclean water. I'm like, that is reality.
And them taking 29 days.
Yeah. To get
somewhere. I feel like a book probably not as well written would be like, they were there after a few days or a week.
And like the timeline doesn't add up or something like
especially
that.
if it took them that long to get upriver.
And then I'm thinking, all of these people's teeth must be rotting. How long does it take for teeth to get rotten? Because Rin has not brushed her teeth in at least 29 days.
I don't know. Do they brush their teeth?
If they didn't, they wouldn't have any teeth.
That's true.
Like they must do something.
Yeah.
It's not toothpaste probably, but
No, but they have like, I hope they have stuff.
we'll Google it later. When did people start brushing their teeth?
Regularly, every day.
Yeah, maybe it's the norm. Once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just appreciated that realism.
I did love the long hug between Rin and Neja when they reunited.
Me too.
Even when she was stinky.
Yeah, he didn't care.
And then he was like, okay.
Yeah, but then he did. He's
And
like,
he was
big hug first.
Yeah.
Now please go shower.
We find out that, so Neja finally opens up to Rin about what happened to him with the dragon. He tells her the full story. Rin told him she was disgusted with him.
I was livid at her in this moment.
I can see because like no one gives empathy to Rin. I get that. So she's kind of just like,
I feel like Neja has.
but Neja has.
Yeah.
And he's opening up to her about something he feels so ashamed about it. And
he's never told anybody this either.
Yeah.
And we talked about it a little bit in the last episode when Neja showed his full shaman powers and Rin was like, you're a coward. And I feel like I got their conversations mixed up a little bit. But in that moment, I guess I feel like, yeah, Rin, you didn't know what happened. So it made sense why you were so angry and upset. But then in this moment, when he's basically bearing his deepest secret, trauma that he has, and how it just haunts him, he feels like he caused his brother's death.
It's mentioned that he takes opium pretty regularly because he's always in pain.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's just like, sucks for you, chin up and go fight this war. And I'm like, this is supposed to be one of your best friends.
And you're
being a jerk.
Yeah.
I was really mad at her at this point.
Me too. And it even said in the book, I remember it like before the conversation, it said like, I should have.
Yes, and that made me even
Yeah,
more mad.
and
So
she
I'm like,
didn't.
you know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And she's just taking on that mentality that I think a lot of people take on, where they're like, well, my life's hard too, so you don't get to complain
Yeah, and it's like,
because
let's
I'm not
not
complaining. And it's like, that's
compare.
not how it works.
No, and that's not healthy for you to just be like, I'm gonna burden all of my things and bury
Enemies.
them and not. Yeah.
Never deal with it.
I do have a prediction
Okay.
for Neja. He's ugly now.
No, he's not. He just has a scar.
Well, but people think he's ugly. I don't think he's ugly.
Me neither.
Rin doesn't think he's ugly.
No,
I love Neja.
we all think he's gorgeous.
But people are scared of the way that he looks on the one side of his face. And I'm like, the dragon won't want him anymore if he's not beautiful.
Ooh, and Rin did try to tell him, you have to go back. I don't think it was this conversation. It might have been a later one.
Yeah.
She's like, you have to go back and face him in that grotto. And he's like, I will never do that. Never ask that of me again. And she's like, okay, I won't. But I feel like he does have to go back.
He for sure has to go back. And when it's just talked about a lot how she looks at the things, and he even has to wear that mask to go out in places because his dad said that he needs to because it scares people. And I'm like, well, the dragon he kept Neja because he thought that Neja was so beautiful. And it was really gross, like the description of like all the like people, like the faces.
Yes,
he had
that's
in
just
the
faces
grotto.
in the water. Yeah, freaky.
I'm like, are those people alive still, or are they just?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm sure we'll find out more.
Probably.
Rin finds Kesagi.
Kasagi. I always say
Kesagi?
Kasagi.
Oh,
Kasagi.
I think I like that better.
Okay, let's go with Kasagi.
Okay.
Okay.
With the Gus sound.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay.
But Kasagi. Kasagi.
It doesn't matter.
Whatever.
We should have looked it up.
We should have.
It was actually
Story of our
hard
lives.
to look up these. I did look up these names, and I couldn't find a lot of it.
Well, a lot of them I don't even think are real names,
Yeah.
even in another language or culture.
Yeah. And it adds difficulty because it is in a different
Culture. So they're just
language.
different,
Yeah.
different intonations, different patterns and stuff like that. Yeah, okay. The reunion with Kasegi and Auntie Fang. I wish Auntie Fang had just died.
Okay, I forgot how fucking rude Auntie Fang was.
Tell us how you really feel, Katie.
She called Rin an ungrateful cunt. And I'm like, lady,
That's 2 episodes in a row now that you've said that word.
I know. But that's what she called Rin. And I'm like, Rin was your slave.
Yeah.
Rin was your child slave.
I just wanted her to have died so that Rin could take Kasegi under her wing.
Yeah.
And Rin was like, yeah, I just kind of forgot they existed. And I'm like, Rin!
She does that. She like compartmentalizes and just buries stuff way deep down.
And I feel like some of the things that are said to her in the next few chapters from Kasegi, from the Southern Warlords, just being like, and I think it was Kasegi or Auntie Fang, who's basically like, no, it was Kasegi, of like, I wanted out too. Like, you just left and tried to conform and become a sign guardian, and really calls her out on like her own hypocrisy.
Yeah. Yeah. Rin was kind of scared off by Auntie Fang. She was like, oh, I don't know if I want to.
I don't want to come back.
Yeah.
I wish I wouldn't have found you guys. She wasn't even looking for them. She was looking for Tudor Fayrick.
Yeah. So Rin was thinking that she wanted Kasegi to say something to make her stay when she felt really uncomfortable and she wanted to leave. But Kasegi was like, okay, well, can you just like spare some blankets? And she was like, ugh. Like she was upset that he asked that. And I was like, I don't blame him. You didn't even write him. You didn't do anything.
Yes. What do you think he's going to do? If I was a refugee and I found out that my sibling was a soldier in high ranks living in the city, I would be like, sweet, my sister's going to take care of me. That's what I would think. Especially
because in their situationship, Rin did. She was a mother figure to him.
Yeah.
And then she just got like abandoned. She abandoned him when she was a child. So
and
I don't
she
blame
made the
her.
right choice for herself too. But like to never write him, to just forget about him,
to not even look for him at the refugee camp.
She has tunnel vision.
She does. She does.
Yeah.
Do you think Tudor Fayrick is alive?
No, I think we would have seen him by now.
I think he's dead too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, Rin learns that the reason there's all these Southern refugees is because the Federation has come back in full force in the South. Rin doesn't really give us a lot of insight into how she feels about that, but do you think that changed her opinion of what she did at all, knowing that the Federation is still a threat?
For sure. I think she thought, oh, I'll just wipe out the island and they're all gone. And I know she heard of the Federation having their little like gangs, but
yeah, it didn't seem anything major.
I don't think she realized that they would still be a big threat. And it was just, again, her tunnel vision. She didn't really recognize that. Yes, she got rid of like the huge threat, the like emperor, but there's still Federation there.
Yeah. I feel like she sees things very black and white.
For sure. She does. Also, I just want to highlight the Empress made dumplings out of Jinza's body and sent them to his family.
I blocked that out. Are we sure he's dead?
I mean, he had dumplings made out of his meats.
We don't know. How do you confirm that it's human meat? I guarantee nobody tried that.
No, they were all molded too.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, and no.
Yeah.
You shouldn't try that. That's,
in case you're out there wondering, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't eat human flesh. It was just disgusting.
It was disgusting and sad. Yeah. So then they realize the Empire is coming for Arlong, the Dragon Republic capital, and they try to delay the fleet. And I was just bored. I was just like, everything just keeps going wrong and blah, blah, blah.
It was boring. It was a lot of setup and like build up to the battle.
More ship descriptions. Yeah. My note is I'm bored. But then the
Snake Warlord.
Thank you. I was trying to remember who it was. The Snake Warlord.
How do you picture him?
You know what? I didn't picture him like a snake. I pictured him as old and chubby.
Oh, I pictured him tall and skinny like a snake.
That makes more sense. He writes a letter. He was supposed to be a part of the Dragon Republic. And he writes a letter saying that he is deflecting to the Empire. And he's basically like, I get what you're doing. And there's a part of me that believes in it. But at the end of the day, I love my family more than I love you.
He says my people.
My people and my family. Yeah. He's like, I have to do what's best for them.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either.
I really don't.
I don't blame him either. He tells Vaysra, he says, he's like, I value my people more than I ever valued you, Vaysra. And I'm like, you in charge of a group of people, a whole province, I guess, a whole
Vaysra?
area? Yeah. No.
The warlords. Yeah. A whole province.
Yeah. I can see where he's coming from. And he's sneaky.
I guess so. I didn't get sneaky vibes from him.
Well, he's the snake warlord.
Well, it makes sense. I know.
Snaky. Yeah.
Well, he relates to the Viperous then.
He does.
Snakes.
Rin comes across the Hesperian missionary raping the Nakara girl. And she burns him, starting with his balls. And his
think
penis.
that's it. I think that's all she burns.
Well, I think she grabs it and then it like... Because she
Turns
talks
to
about
ash.
his lower half.
Oh, okay.
So I think it starts there and then it...
Yeah. I mean, he died from it.
He died, which... Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hated that, like, I knew even if she would, like...
Punched him
and was like, hey, he was raping someone.
No, it would have turned back on her.
They would not believe her.
It made me so mad. I'm just like... I think a part of the reason why some of these things can be so frustrating is because without the magic and the shamans and the gods, these are still problems we have today.
And they are depicted really realistically in the series, which...
Yeah. Do you think... Okay, so the Southern Warlords ask Kasegi to basically, like, trick Rin into coming to talk with them, and they're trying to convince Rin that Vaysra this has gone too far. And basically, like, there's no way Vaesra would continue with this unless he wanted all the power for himself. Like, this is not about a republic. This has been a ruse to get him in charge. Rin, come back, fight in the South for us. Like, yes, we're going to start another war, basically, but we have to. And she's like, absolutely not. I believe Vaesra. And yeah, what do you think about their proposition and her decision to not go with them?
I could understand both sides. And at this point, I don't think that Rin understood her power. I do think it was smart of her to maybe wait a second. Because I'm like, what were they going to do? Like, run away right then?
Yeah, and she can't leave without Katai.
Yeah.
And I'm a little confused because it sounds like once Rin said no, that they stayed.
Stopped. Yeah.
But then after the war,
they didn't.
One of them is killed, one of them is captured, and one of them makes it free by the Republic. Like, the Republic, Vaesra does that to them. So I'm like, did Rin say something, or?
Well, I think Vaesra just wanted power, and that was his way.
He was like,
maybe of just,
I know I got these people as my allies, but now I'm killing them.
Securing the power. Yeah, I did want her, though. I was like, Rin, he is playing you, though. And, like, now the Hesperians are in it, but I just don't know how they would be able to, at that point, escape with all the refugees, too. Like, there's no way. They would be like, where are you going? But also, they're trying to prepare for the Empire, so maybe it would have worked.
I don't know either.
I have no idea.
Great idea.
So Vaesra tells Rin that he wants her to kill Moog after the battle. And Rin is kind of like, no, I know you're playing me. I'm going to go to Rin. I'm going to go to Moog and kind of leverage and see if she could protect me. And we find out that Neja is just scared and Rin is just, she calls him a coward again. And I noticed Rin is always interrupting Neja when he's trying to, like, tell her how he feels. She's always like, you don't get, who cares? Like, oh, you don't think I've ever been in pain? I'm like, just let the guy express himself.
And why is it always about you, Rin?
It's always about her. I
don't know. I feel like, not that she's doing anything explicitly, like, you're just the worst person ever. But I'm like, Rin, your character is not that great.
No.
You know?
No. I like her. She just has a lot. She has, you can just see, she's just.
I like how human she is.
Yes, me too.
But she's.
Frustrating.
Yeah. It's like we're slowly seeing her downfall is what it kind of feels like. But
I think she's on the up towards the end of the book. I think at least she's not addicted to opium. She has Katai. She has Vinka. So I feel like she's a little bit, but I know what you mean of, like, she's still having that block of, like, understanding other people's perspectives. Even if she doesn't agree with it, I feel like she's just like, no, we should do it.
Yeah. Or, like,
we should do what I think we should do and not.
Yeah.
Or what Katai. Like, if she agrees with it, she's like, full on. But if she doesn't, she's like, you're just dumb and blah, blah, blah.
You're not allowed to have feelings because I have feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one who's allowed to have feelings. That's how it feels.
She's going to cut you off every time you try to talk about
Yes. I was really glad we kind of skipped over this, but when Katai builds Rin wings, that was so cool, and how they knew they needed somebody, a shooter. And I was like, yes, finally Vanka gets to fight. And this was a moment when Rin went to go tell Vanka that she wanted her. I was like, Rin, this is like you being kind. This is great. I love this for you.
Yeah, I love that too. I love Vanka. It would absolutely take me more than one day, though, to learn how to fly. But Rin is so brave that I could see that
they
happening.
took 300 pages to explain ships, but it took 1 page for Rin to learn how to fly.
True. She's better at flying than Pharaoh is.
Yeah. Can she do it in the air, though? We'll probably never.
In there? Oh. I don't know.
They do it.
She could probably do it in the water.
We'll never find out because it's not a romance.
It's like tiny. Gives you crumbs.
Yeah. And then they did it in the water. Period.
So Rin ends up killing Phelan.
Wait.
Did you want to go there? Or?
No, go back.
Okay, go back.
Rin decides to inform Moog of Vaestra's plans. And this is the first time where she's like, okay, maybe I do need some sort of insurance. Maybe Vaestra isn't all he's cracked up to be.
Yeah. Which Neja kind of gave her a little hint.
That's what I was about to say next.
Hint.
So this is after Rin tips off Moog. Neja comes to Rin and is like, I had a dream that you died. And he's like crying. And once again, she's just like, shut up. Go away.
She almost like doesn't know how to like respond when he is being vulnerable with her.
That's exactly what it is.
It's probably because she's never really vulnerable with people.
No, and has anybody ever actually been vulnerable with her? Even Katai, like, yeah, they're really good friends, but we've never really seen that, at least. We've never seen...
I think, like, Rin shows his emotion a lot in anger, and that's something she can understand. Mm-hmm. But, like, Neja doesn't. He doesn't have that. He's more, like, he does cry more.
He's a little sad boy.
Yeah, we love a sad boy.
Hug him. So, yeah, he's like, you have more enemies than you think, like, don't go to battle. And she's just like, you're a coward, goodbye.
Should have listened.
And he was one of her enemies.
Yeah.
And then we finally get a good battle. That was my notes for chapters 31 through 32. Finally, an exciting battle.
I love that Neja chopped Jun's hand off.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
That was really
Bummed
good.
that Jun survived. That he got to live.
I want to strangle him. He's so annoying.
Maybe somebody
not
will.
A good person.
No. I hear your dog snoring.
He's snoring. He's
I love it.
Well, Rin destroys Phelan.
Mm-hmm. That was a cool scene.
It was really cool. I'm so proud of her.
She saves Neja.
Yes, she saves Neja saves Rin.
Well, Rin saves Neja first.
Oh, yeah.
Because Phelan is destroying his ships. And she's like, I have to go in. Like, I have to make sure he's still alive.
I love that. Rin's so brave.
She really is. There's a good thing about her. She's very brave. And then she does things like this where you're like, you do care. You just make it seem like you don't when you're talking.
Words are hard for her.
Words are hard.
Words are very hard for Rin.
Actions do speak louder.
The Daji shows up. The Daji.
The
Empress.
Okay.
Sue Daji.
I got confused again.
Okay.
So you were talking about the whole trifecta with the Ketriids, how they were explaining things and it was confusing. I felt confused here. Okay. Where Daji was like, this is why I did what I did. But she's talking about the Federation. She's talking about her own people. She's talking about the Ketriids. She's talking about her past being the trifecta and the Hesperians. So there were a lot of people at play, and I feel like I got lost. They became vague of like, who's they at this point? Who's the enemy?
In Daji's perspective, so from her, it looked like when she was a child, she was poor and raped by the Federation. Oh, not the Federation.
Hesperians.
The Hesperians. So when Daji was little, she grew up under the Hesperian power.
Yes.
And then the Federation came in. But in Daji's perspective, the Hesperians are the one to fear. Not as much the Federation.
Right.
So now that they're back, I think she's kind of like, okay, Rin, like, you want to team up with me because you don't know the full story.
Yeah.
I can help you.
I think I got that part.
Okay.
I think what was confusing for me is she was basically trying to use that as a reasoning for why she sold out half the country to the Federation.
Yeah.
And to me, I was like, that doesn't really check out. Like, I get that she's trying to tell Rin the biggest enemy are actually the Hesperians, and I do believe her in that. But how does that make the Federation a good guy?
I think
as a whole, like the fact that they were still coming over here and you were going to let them kill your people, that doesn't check out to me.
For her, it was the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
And I mean, does that justify her selling out her own country, like half of her own country? I don't know. That's, I mean,
yeah.
Do you believe Daji when she is basically telling Rin, like, come find me, come find me when you're ready for the whole truth or the whole? I
still think Daji wants power as well. I think we know she did something to the Dragon Emperor. She's the one who put the seal on Jiang. Unless she did those things to protect. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think everyone's full of crap.
Yes,
I really
me
do.
too.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. If her purpose, to me, if her purpose was always to protect her people from the Hesperians, why would you let the Federation take over half your country?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like your decision should have been better. You should have let your warlords in on, like, who the Hesperians really are so that they can rally as one rather than keeping all these secrets.
She did keep a lot of secrets, I think, to justify her power.
Yeah.
But she clearly, you see, she wasn't as powerful, right? Like,
Right.
she even tries at the beginning of the book when Rin first tries to assassinate her. You see how in the council, when they're even trying to make a decision with the warlords all together, that it's like not happening.
No, it was chaos.
It
There was a
was
lot
bad.
of issues with their whole governmental system. So,
Yeah. Rin lies to Nezha about being on the same side as him. I mean, Nezha's lying to her, but
Yeah.
because Nezha's like, right, like we're like in this together. And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, of course.
but then they plan to leave with the other Sika, who we keep forgetting exist as well because they're barely in
they're
it.
barely in it. But Rin kills Solon, the snake warlord.
She kills him?
Yeah, she reaches through his flesh and squeezes his heart.
That's right, because he was captured and Vaestra made her. I don't think she would have done it.
No.
I don't think she would have. And what does he say to her? He's basically like, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
Like, you're being played.
Yeah.
And I believe him.
I
I
believe
mean,
him
she
too.
is. She really is.
We get some Nezha flirting.
We do get some Nezha flirting.
He says she looks good in her ceremonial dress.
Yes.
Good, that's all we
and
get.
They're planning, something's going to go wrong because they're planning to leave. Which I'm like, why can't they leave? Like, that's a problem.
That is a problem. Well, it's because they need to use them. And the
Yeah.
Hesperians need Rin to
Yeah.
experiment on.
And then they go get drunk and Nezha literally stabs her in the back.
My one note, even though Nezha stabs her in the back, I have, when the hell are we going to get a kiss scene with Rin and Nezha?
No, they're on the boat and Rin is like, maybe he's going to kiss me. Like, maybe this is a romantic moment. And they have a good little conversation and then stabs her right in the back.
in the back.
And I just felt like him and Rin both have so much potential, but they keep making bad choices to appease other people.
Mm-hmm. They're superiors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. That's why what Nezha did is awful. Clearly.
Yeah.
And he's also being manipulated. And, he's supposed to, leave his family. Rin doesn't have family. Katai's family, I mean, we know about his dad. I don't know about his,
I don't think he knows if anybody else is alive.
Venka's, doesn't talk to her family. Obviously, the rest of the
But,
people don't either.
I mean, yes, but really your dad asks you
know.
to stab one of your closest friends so that she can be captured and taken away as an experiment. And you're going to say yes just because he's your daddy?
I know.
Grow up.
And if Rin's 20,
Nezha's 20.
Nezha's 20.
They are adults now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been confronted with that situation, but I like to think that I would be like, yeah, sure, Dad, I'll do that for you.
Yeah.
And then I would go tell my friend and get the hell out of there.
He's not at that place. And
No.
I hope he comes to that place soon.
Do you think Rin will ever forgive him?
Yeah.
I don't.
Really.
I don't think so.
I hope. What if I just hope for it?
I hope for it too. I still hope they fall in love.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. I think she is much too vengeful.
She is really vengeful.
And that was a big
It
betrayal.
was a big, big betrayal.
She was, without Katai's help, she was about to be shipped overseas as a literal experiment.
I am hoping that maybe Nezha didn't have the full story. Mm-hmm. And he just kind of did orders without.
That's probably true.
Yeah. But still not a good choice.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, so Rin's betrayed, and Baji and Suni are killed. And I can't believe they're dead.
We didn't get enough of them. I really liked them.
Me too. And then Katai saves her, and Ramza dies as a sacrifice as well, so that she can escape. And she escapes with Venka and Katai to Mog's fleet. Mm-hmm. And their plan is to go rally the South, But she might not have feeling in her hand again. That's what they said. Because
yeah.
she had to break her hand to get out of the chains.
She smashed it twice.
Katai stepped on it.
Oh, like,
Ouch.
really, yeah.
Yeah.
Neja lets them escape, though.
He does let them escape.
Which is interesting. And I really want his side of the story.
I know. And for a second when they saw him, I was like, he's going to go with them. He's going to be like, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize what was actually happening. Please take me with you and let me prove myself. But nope.
No, that did not happen.
No. Did you predict any of this crazy stuff?
I didn't
Okay.
predict anything. I have a prediction for what is going to happen.
Okay.
So we saw in the first book when Rin went to like the spirit world and got like that little vision. We saw that like the third thing. So we saw a dragon, a boy with a dragon, which I'm pretty sure is
Neja.
But the third thing that I feel like we haven't seen yet was a woman with long hair crying over a sword with two bodies.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, is it going to be Rin? Because now she has a sword and not a trident. And are the
That's
two
true.
bodies going to be Katai and Neja?
Do you think Katai would definitely release Rin
Yeah.
from the bond, but do you think Rin would accept it?
I think
Accept that release?
I think if Rin needed, like, if she still had a purpose, some type of mission, I think it would be in the way, kind of like Alton was. Like, you have to go do, like, I can see Katai being like, you need to go do this or something.
Like you need to finish this war
Yeah.
or something. Wasn't the sword broken too? I feel like it was broken.
I don't remember it being broken, but it might
Got to
have
keep an eye out. I had a feeling Vaesra couldn't be trusted, but I didn't predict that Neja would be a part of it. That really took me by surprise.
I want to pretend that he never did that.
Me too.
That's how I feel about it.
Okay, I have some questions about what you think will happen in the next book.
Okay.
What do you think will happen with Neja?
I don't know.
Okay. Me neither. I think if Rin forgives him, it's going to be hard, or it'll be like he suddenly like sacrifices himself for her and then he's dying and she's like, okay, I guess I forgive you now.
I think it's going to have to be
I guess you're not a coward.
gesture. Maybe overpowering his dad.
Right.
He has water powers. He could freaking just drown him.
I know. That's true. That's very true. I already asked you this in the last episode, but do you think the two Sika who left at the beginning will come back?
Yes.
I hope so.
I think they're going to find them.
Yeah. Do you think Rin will create more shaman? Because that's kind of what she is sounding like she wants to do, like create a army of shaman.
I think she is.
And there's desperate Southerners who are probably like, just like her when she was studying for that test.
I wonder what the god, like, because she's spirally, so her god is the Phoenix god. So it'd be interesting to find out more people who are in the South who don't really have access to shamanism right now, what gods they would call.
Yeah, I wonder, I feel like they just call and it's whoever answers?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Because no one is able to call all the gods.
What do you think happened to Kasegi? Do you think he's alive still? Do you think he'll come back into play?
I think he's alive.
Yeah.
I think he's too important.
Me too. And then last question. Do you think we're ever going to actually find out how Rin got off the island of Spear?
Wasn't they like saved her?
We don't know who or how. If we found that out, I slept through it.
I feel like we did. My general question I had was, how did everyone know it was Rin who destroyed the Federation Island?
Yeah.
But like, it was like well known. Like everyone knew it.
Everyone knew.
And I was like,
but how? But how did they all know? A volcano exploding could be anything. It could be a natural disaster.
Yeah. I don't know.
Me neither.
Questions.
Okay, I do have a crying corner.
Ooh.
I cried a lot at the end. Well, I cried when Rin confronted the illusion of Alton during the sauna because I was just really proud of her. I cried when Ramza died because I just felt like that was an unnecessary sacrifice, and I didn't understand why he would choose to sacrifice himself for Rin. If I'm being honest.
You're like, I don't.
Yeah, I'm like, what has
You like Ramza more than Rin?
Not necessarily, but I just was like, I don't see it's not like Katai sacrificing himself or Neja sacrificing himself. Like, I don't really see what bond or true relationship they really had to the point where Ramza would be like, Rin must live because I love her so much, or she's so important. Like, yeah.
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 I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I realized that Venka was the one helping them leave and going with them, I got emotional. And then when they passed, so basically that whole like chunk at the end, and then passing Neja and him doing nothing. And the part of the reason I cried is because I wanted him to be better than that.
I know. I really wanted him.
I was mourning. Too. Yeah.
I didn't cry.
That's okay. You teared up in the last episode. No, that was me.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
One of these days,
something's going to get me.
Something's going to get you.
Probably, honestly, when I'm doing good mental health-wise, it kind of takes a lot for me to cry. But if I'm not doing that well, it's very easy to make me cry.
Well, I don't want you to not do well.
Yeah, me too. So
keep it up.
Thank you.
I just cry all the time. Do you have a quote of the book?
I do. I found the Sorkin Sira to be very wise. She had a lot of good quotes. So this was my little quote. When nations start to believe that other beliefs lead to damnation, violence becomes inevitable.
When nations start to believe that other beliefs. Yep.
And I felt like that just really summed up the book and a lot of beliefs that the book was commenting on of like, this is disgusting.
Yeah. Mine was also about war.
Okay.
And it was near the beginning of the book. And it said, she simmered, not with resentment so much as with a nameless fury at the idea that outside the confines of warfare, life could go on and did go on, that somehow still, in pockets scattered throughout the empire, there were cities and cities of people who were dyeing silk and fishing for gourmet dinners, unaffected by the single issue that plagued a soldier's mind, when and where the next attack would come. And I just thought, I can imagine that's exactly how soldiers feel. Or refugees even. Just, there's people in the world who are just living like nothing's happening.
And they don't care at all.
Yeah, and it's especially wild that it's in the same country. Like, that's literally their neighboring province, the neighboring town.
And it's all just, if you just happen to be born poor.
Yeah, screw you. Okay, I have more Would You Rather Rin edition.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Would you rather be betrayed by someone you loved but didn't trust, or someone you trusted but didn't love?
Probably the first one.
Loved but didn't trust.
Yeah. This is something about me that I've discovered as I've gotten older. I have a really hard time with betrayal. If you make me feel betrayed, probably because I really hate being vulnerable with people. So if I feel like someone betrayed me, I'm like, bye. I don't need you. Like, I'm done. I'm done. So at least, even if I love that person, well, I didn't trust them already. So
right. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened. I don't think Rin fully trusted Neja.
No.
And that's maybe why she wouldn't get vulnerable with him ever.
Which one would you rather have?
I feel like the same as you, but the hard part about picking that one of like, I feel like love is so deep, and it would be like, I feel like I wouldn't be able to trust myself anymore if somebody I loved could do that. I also have a hard time imagining loving somebody but not trusting them.
Me too.
Because I feel like for me in my life, they've always gone together.
Me
like,
too.
you can't have my love if you don't have my trust.
Same.
But I guess there's different levels. Like, there are people that I love but don't trust with every part of me.
That's true. And like, I have like friends, like obviously I have like BFFs, I will say everything to, but I do have other friends where I just don't feel like I need them to be involved in all parts of my life.
Yeah.
I know all those things about me.
Yeah. I think when I think of romantic love, like, I cannot imagine loving my husband and not trusting him.
People do though.
I know.
People do.
Would you rather be bonded to your best friend or your sibling?
Probably my best friend.
I think so too. I don't know. My siblings are fun.
Me too, but
yeah.
I think for the best of our relationship, probably
Yeah.
my friend.
Yeah. Same. Would you rather have everyone in your life sacrifice themselves for you or you be the one sacrificed?
Oh, me sacrificed.
Same.
Absolutely. I do that in my brain already sometimes. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I being a martyr? And like,
Right.
no one needs, like, no one is, it's like made up in my head. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah.
Would you rather lose mobility in your hand, like Rin potentially, or your elbow, like Venka?
Probably my elbow.
Same. I feel like if you can't, there's so much. If your arm was stuck to your side and you couldn't bend your elbow, you could still do a lot of things.
Yeah. And I don't have firepower, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I thought it was interesting that Rin could shoot out
Out of her mouth.
Out of her mouth.
Creepy.
I didn't know that she could do that.
It's pretty cool. She's like a dragon.
She's a dragon. Dragon Republic.
Look at that.
Okay, this book taught me some new words, but
I learned a lot of new words too.
I didn't look them up.
Me neither.
Okay, so we're going to play a little context clues game. Because
Okay.
oftentimes when I read, I use context clues to
I
try
love
to
it.
figure them out.
Okay.
So I'm going to read a sentence and we can see if we come up with the real meaning of the word.
Okay.
And because I'll look them up.
Do you want me to be the Googler?
Sure.
Since you're the reader?
The first word was elucidate.
Elucidate.
Okay.
Okay.
It says, so they're talking about the ship.
Mm-hmm. Oh, surprise,
describing the
surprise.
ship, yeah. So Neja was walking her around, showing her the ship, and it says, he continued to elucidate newer innovations as they walked, gesturing with the pride of a newborn parent.
Point out.
Okay, I thought like describe.
Okay.
Let's see
Elucidate.
if we're right.
Make something clear or explain.
Yay!
Yeah, nice job, Katie.
Bing, bing.
You get a star. Have you ever played Mario Party?
Yeah, of course.
You get a star.
We have Mario Party.
Oh my gosh, we could play together online, I think.
Yeah, I'm not very good at playing video games. I think I mentioned
I knew that
this
about
to
you.
but
I keep trying to convince you to play still, nonetheless.
I'll play with you.
Okay.
I've gotten to mindset of just having fun.
We need to have you and Ty over for dinner and play this game called Heave Ho because it's like fun when you're bad at it.
Okay.
It's just
Wow.
silly nonsense. Like
I'll
it's
have
you will.
lots of fun.
I have laughed so hard that I've peed myself while playing this game. Like
Okay.
it's hilarious.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, next word. I think it's souse. Souse.
Souse.
Or
Okay.
sauce. Souse?
Souse. I think souse. Yeah.
This is when they were getting drunk
Okay.
together.
Together.
They were getting drunk. Yeah.
When? I thought they got drunk at the end.
No, you're right. They were getting. Rin was getting drunk. She was sassy. Was it Vaser or Jinza? I think it was Jinza, and she got kicked out of the camp.
Oh yeah.
And she was getting drunk on wine.
Mm-hmm.
And Neja went to go see her, and it says, by the time Neja came out for her, she was utterly soused, and she wouldn't have heard him approach if he hadn't shouted for her every step he took.
Drunk.
I think it just
Yeah.
means drunk,
Yeah.
but I've never had heard of that word before.
Soak in or drench with liquid.
Oh. She was very drunk.
Oh, it also says a drunkard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it?
Utterly soused. But it's not an adjective.
Oh.
It's a noun or a verb. So she was soused. Would that be a verb?
Yeah.
So the verb is soaked in or drenched with liquid. But I think it's supposed to imply that she was drunk.
She was soaked.
Like she was
like-
so filled with liquid that she was drunk.
Another one I learned. Or I didn't learn, I guess I should say. Irascible.
Okay.
Irascible.
Okay.
And let me see. Oh, she was talking about Jinza wanting to just go forward with the battle, even though it was going to be winter. And it said, but Jinza had become increasingly irascible, less and less willing to listen to his advisors, and more adamant that they had to storm forward. I just thought maybe it meant like determined.
Yeah, I was thinking like hot-headed.
Okay.
Honestly.
It might.
Irascible. Oops. I started typing sriracha. Wait.
I-
Why do I keep adding an S? I-R.
Rascible.
Okay. Having or showing a tendency to be easily angered. Let's listen to it. Irascible.
Irascible.
Okay.
Easily angered. I think Rin is irascible.
I do as well. Pot
There we
calling the
go.
kettle black again, Rin.
Yeah.
That's fun. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll try to use one of those. I'll try to use souse. That's going to be the easiest for me to remember.
Yeah.
This is our anniversary episode.
Oh, yay. Next is our anniversary episode.
Yes. So it'll be our 1-year podcast anniversary. And so we're going to hopefully get some listener questions and just do a little get to know each other chat, talk
Fun
about the
games.
year. Yeah, fun games. And then after that, we'll cover the rest of this series. Yeah. So
And the series we're reading after this is The Caravel.
I'm excited.
Me too. Probably more
A little more
romance.
A little more my style. Yeah. So thank you for listening. Follow us on our socials on TikTok and Instagram, and rate, review, subscribe on Apple and Spotify and YouTube.
Thanks.
Bye.